Okay, so I am here with Kelly, who just finished the 90 days, did fabulously, by the way, and is continuing to. So, Kelly, why don't you share how many pounds that you lost in the 90 days?
I believe I cleared 40 pounds in 90 days.
You did. You did, and I counted. That is fabulous. And I know you actually cleared it a day before, right?
Yep,
I think
I
it was a
think
day
so. On
before.
Sunday.
Okay. Yep.
And
Yep.
so,
So that's awesome. And then how have you felt since losing the weight?
I've had more energy, um, more stamina when I do things.
Yep.
Um, I sleep better. I don't have the ups and downs of like being super hungry and then eating and
Yeah.
then feeling super miserable afterwards. And
Yep. Yep. Oh, that's huge. I love that. You're actually one of the first persons that have said that. I love that. What other changes, anything with like digestion or skin or blood pressure, cholesterol? And did you have any other changes outside of the weight loss?
so I no longer take a what do you call it? It's the GERD medication or acid reflux medication. I no longer have to take that.
Awesome.
I do feel like my skin is clearer. Um, I don't feel like I get bloated around my period time.
Yep.
Um, trying to think of what else. I think those are probably the main highlights. Oh, I have less hair shedding,
Yes.
which
And
it,
a lot of that's related to hormone issues. So your hormones are probably balancing out as well,
yeah.
which is great. Um, and then did you have any difficulties while going through the program? Um, if so, what were some of those things?
I think the biggest challenges were to get through that first week where you're just, coming off of any sugars you were on and just kind of adjusting to the new um, eating times, staying within your 8-hour eating window. Um, Especially after like 6 o'clock at night, not eating. That was a big challenge. But, you get used to that after, a week. I'd say I don't even really think about it. Um, After I'm eating my last meal, I'm full and, I'm just drinking my water for the rest of the night and don't really have any issue. But I think that was probably the biggest challenges because I think I was one of those people that would snack in the evening before bed, which
Yeah.
is horrible.
Yes. And now you know why.
Yep. Yep. So we
Yes.
no longer do that.
Yep. Yep. So, kind of coinciding with that, had you ever tried other programs? And if so, how did this program differ from those?
Yes. So I've been on at least 3 or 4 different programs. I think the biggest difference with this one is um the information you provide about the foods that are what we should be eating. Like any of the other programs, they give you a certain amount of points to use for the day or a certain amount of calories that you need to stay within or um, so many bars to eat in a time period. Whereas you guys actually tell us what we need to stay away from, what isn't good, what will affect our body negatively, and then also provide the information of what we should be eating and why we should be eating it.
Right, right. And understanding, within the different phases, why the burn phase is so important, and then moving into like the refuel phase and what those specific foods do to your like glucose levels and relating especially so much like that glucose, even if somebody's not diabetic or pre-diabetic, but how that glucose spike is so influential on your weight gain, but also just how you metabolize, and making sure that you guys fully understand that with, okay, these are why you're choosing these foods, to make sure that glucose doesn't spike, versus just saying, hey, stay in these points. You can eat whatever you want, but stay in these points. Um,
Right.
really more
To
specific.
teach you good habits.
What's that?
Because you can say, I'm going to use all my points on cookies
Yes.
or whatever, like,
Yes.
so.
Yes, I think, I don't know if you were on that call, but I had made a comparison. So somebody's like, "Oh, well, if I just eat, 1,000 calories a day, I'll lose weight." And I had to make a point like, yeah, okay, so if you ate 1,000 calories of celery versus 1,000 calories of brownies, which one do you think you're going to lose the same amount of? No, you're not, because your body metabolizes it different. It's a different fuel source. There's different things within that. So getting people to understand that it's not just about a calorie restriction, but it's also about the quality of the food that you're eating, and understanding what that food does to your body. And you got that right away, which was really fun to see, because once you get it, you run with it. That information in itself is just like empowering you, like, oh, now I know exactly
Yeah.
what I need to do. So that's
Yes.
great. Did you ever feel like it was something you couldn't complete? Like, did you ever get to a point where you're like, oh my goodness, I can't keep doing this?
Oh, no, not at all. No,
Okay.
no. I think because the weight loss, what I really liked is the weight loss was quick enough that it kept you motivated and it kept you on track,
Yeah.
even on the times where I had, some days where like I plateaued or even went up. I still knew that, it was possible. I actually went into the program with a really high goal based on what I had seen others had
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
And so I went in saying 45 pounds, but that was me being like, if you know me, I'm a pretty
Determined.
glasses half full type
Oh,
person,
yeah.
optimistic. And so I was like, well, 45 pounds, that would be great.
Yep.
And I can't remember what time frame I was in, and I saw Dr. Nick for my adjustment, and he'd asked me where I was at, and I said, "Oh, I'm 20 pounds down. I don't know if I'll be able to make it to my goal." And he assured me, "Oh no, you still have tons of time yet."
Yep.
So even getting to the 40 pounds, even though I'd made the goal of 45, I didn't honestly know whether I'd be able to get there in that amount of time.
Yep.
But there was nothing that ever made me feel like I can't do this,
Yeah.
because there's so much variety in the foods we get to eat,
Yep.
and you can just prepare them. I mean, it doesn't get old and boring. You have lots of different choices. So,
Yes, and that was our big thing, is making sure that like you're not sticking to, a shake for a meal or a bar for a meal, that you actually get to eat real food. And the beauty of it, and what I love to see, is so many people are like, "Oh, I'm actually getting back to cooking again."
yeah,
Not just throwing something, quick in the microwave. I'm actually cooking real food, and seeing people get excited about that, because that's really how we're supposed to fuel our bodies, is cooking real food.
right, exactly. Yeah, we've actually I definitely noticed the increase in the amount of dishes that we need to do.
Is that the
It's
downfall? That's the
really
downfall.
sad, but I'm always like, okay, I had two pans and it was never an issue. And now I'm like, where's my pan? It's dirty. I gotta wash it again because I just used it for
Yes.
breakfast. So
And that's
yes.
the cool thing though, is that you guys are, I love seeing everybody's, because in the group page everybody posts, the meals that they're making and stuff. And I love to see it, because people are starting to get creative in what they're eating again. And
Yep.
honestly, that's what keeps you motivated and keeps you going, because you kind of spark that interest of, hey, I know how to cook. And
Yep.
you get creative, and when you get and understand the parameters of whatever phase you're in, and you know the foods that you can eat, the sky's kind of the limit. It's you can create whatever you want because you've got that list of foods with it in your phase, and then you get to create from there. It's not like you have to, well, you have to eat this at this time and you have to eat this at this time. It's like, no, these are all the foods you get to eat. You get to make it however you want to make it. Which was one thing we wanted to make sure that people were doing because, not everybody has the same palate and not everybody has, the same foods that they like or, don't like. And so giving people that option that hey, these are the foods that you can eat and just work within this list, then you're good to go. Um,
Right.
and it's always fun to see what everybody creates because it inspires you to start changing what you're making as well.
Yeah, like tonight I did a search and they actually make organic coconut wraps because I was
Yes.
looking for other alternatives and like, okay, I know I can have coconut. And
Yep.
so then it just like I know what I can eat. So then I'm looking for, I never knew they existed, like
Yep.
until you start looking into it, it's like there are all kinds of options. So
Yes. And so many options for healthier choices. And that's the fun thing to see is like, oh, I never knew they made this, or I never knew that this was an option. And because we're so used to staying, in that the middle aisles of the grocery store where everything's processed, right? Um,
yep.
but understanding, one, how to shop, what you're looking for when you shop, and that there are other options and versions out there that have, I would even argue, better flavoring. Um, than the garbage.
Yeah, there's nothing that I've eaten that I haven't really liked. I mean, the mushrooms didn't agree with me, but that was one of the allergy foods that came up in testing a
Yep,
few years back. It just confirmed that that was accurate.
yep, yep,
But yeah, there wasn't, I mean, I've always been a vegetable person. I felt like I ate like I was eating like at a restaurant every day because I was having scallops and shrimp. I mean, huge shrimp and like just things that we normally didn't eat unless we were going out. But I would,
right.
and then just the savings, not eating out,
Yes,
huge. I
yes.
mean, it's way cheaper. Even buying the better products, it's still cheaper than going out to eat. So
That's the one thing we always say here is like, man, when we're really like spot on with the Food to Thrive program, we save so much money in restaurant bills because like
yeah,
you're like, oh man, do I really want to go and waste money, or is it gonna are they gonna have options that I I
right.
I want to stay in, my phase. So are they going to have options for me kind of thing? Um, but also knowing you can go out to eat and make those healthy choices. I would actually argue though, I like what I make on the program a lot better than what I could get in the at the
I
restaurant. So
control, like the control of knowing exactly, because even if you tell them like no oil or no fat, it's not that I don't believe them, but
right,
like was there leftover oil where you threw my meat even though you
right.
didn't put it on there, or just like the example of making my granola at home. I was looking for something simple that was pre-made and
Yep,
I was having problems finding something because I wanted it to fit the burn phase, not in the cycle phase. And
yep.
so it was like I just started looking for recipes online, and I'm like, I can have the unsweetened coconut, I can have this, I can have this. And then I found one I could throw it all together, and I know exactly what's in that.
Exactly, and honestly, that's, like, the best way to cook and eat, right? Is knowing exactly the ingredients that you're eating and what you're
Yeah,
consuming, and not having all these weird ingredients in the ingredients list that you can't even pronounce. So that's fun. It's fun to see, that complete change in how you view food and how you view the types of foods that you're eating and even making. And I love that you did that. You were determined. You felt empowered from the information that you got to go out and find something that you knew fit in the phase that you were in, which was
yep,
great.
yep.
And I love seeing that. So what are some of your future goals for your health journey?
So continue to lose. So my goal, for sure to hit the 45, and then, if I want to go to the 10 after that, if we feel like that would be the healthiest for me, I'm willing to do that. I've changed. So this program has also brought to light like other things that I can change to make healthier choices. So like I switched deodorants, I switched my shampoo and conditioner, I switched my toothpaste, all of those
Right.
things to more um less toxic, I guess. I don't know if that's
Yep.
the correct terminology, but
Yep.
um and I'm excited because next Tuesday I go in and I need my cholesterol levels checked.
Oh,
And
awesome.
so I can't wait to see what they say after going through 90 days because my triglycerides were always high,
Yeah.
which is the processed foods big
Yep.
time.
Yep.
So it should be outstanding. I think my doctors would probably be like, "What were you
I
doing?"
know, and then you can say, "Hey, you need to refer all your patients over."
Yeah, right,
No,
exactly.
and that's
This
great
is
to
what I've
see.
been doing.
This is great to see too, and I wanna know those numbers, by the way, so you need to
Yeah,
tell
oh
me.
yeah, I'll share them for sure.
I love that, and I love too that, because that's just one more thing that you can add, right? Like, it's not just that you've lost the 40 pounds, but you're you're decreasing inflammation within your body, and
Right,
understanding that food can either decrease inflammation or it can cause inflammation. And when you have inflammation in the body, that either creates a state of, well, that inflammation in the body creates a state of dis-ease, which is where the word disease comes from. And so understanding like the foods that you eat contribute to the process in which disease occurs in the body. And when you can understand that and you can apply that to that aha moment of, oh, this is why the program has these foods, because it's actually reducing the inflammation within my body, and this is how it's affecting it. And I'm really excited to hear your numbers, because I will bet money you will have a very
oh,
um
I'm sure. I don't think I've eaten this clean in my entire life. I mean,
that's
you have to have
awesome.
good intentions. I was always, a salad person, but there were so many things that I added not knowing how bad they were for me. And now that I know, it's like I don't even want to I don't even need those.
So would you say like that's like your big takeaway is like, because like you said, you always had good intentions, but like how did this click for you versus what you've done in the past? How did this program click and make sense?
Um I'm a science person. I've always liked knowing how or why things work the way they do. And
Yeah.
so I think that intrigued me. Um, Definitely the fast results was a big thing because I think after, 6 months and you drop 10 pounds, it's like I'm doing all this work and I'm really not seeing a lot of results. And
Right.
that would always frustrate me. Or I go out to eat and, the next day you go on the scale and it's 5 pounds up and you really didn't hardly have anything. And would just get,
Yeah.
like, why even bother?
Right. Right. Right.
But now it's like, okay, I know when I, go out to eat, incorporate, okay, this might be the cycle day, or whatever phase I'm in, I can pick something off the menu and um, stay within that. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And adjust it according to whatever phase you're in, which is great, because
right,
that was our big um area that we wanted to make sure that we were creating within the program. Is we want to make sure that whatever phase you're in, whether you're eating at home or you're eating out or you're at an event or you're on vacation, there's always a way to choose the healthiest option possible, right? And not
right.
just be like, oh well, I can't eat anything, or oh well, I'm just going to eat whatever. um
Yeah,
Always knowing that there's still a healthy option no matter what scenario you're in, so you can really truly apply it to real life, and you're not stuck with the shakes or the bars, or
right.
like I said, just self-sabotaging, but truly educating all of our clients on what each food does and what that effect has on the body. And so you can go into whatever situation and know, okay, this is my goal. These are my options. What's going to be my best choice for where I'm at or what phase I'm in. And
Right.
you've done so great with that because you even went out to eat. You've done,
Yes.
different events, different parties. And, I love that too, because that's the beauty of the coaching too, right? You were like, hey, I've got this shower. What do I need to do in preparation? And how do I want to be able to go and enjoy and not partake in the festivities, but then how can I make sure the next day I'm back on track? And we set a
Yep.
plan around that.
Yep. That's been nice. The fast replies to posting, is this okay to eat? Or, is there anything in this I shouldn't be eating? Or
Yeah.
can you recommend something for this or what have you? That's always been good. Just
Yeah.
our Facebook group meetings, just having that information every 2 weeks and then meeting with you individually. Yeah, it's just, it's good support for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So,
You've been doing great, Kelly, and you've been so fun to work with, and I'm excited to get these next few days under our belts and hit that stretch goal for you. Because
yeah,
listen, you're going to make it happen, especially because of how you just are continuing. We found your niche right now, and I just want to take that and run with it.
okay.
So that's
We'll
what we're
do
going to do.
whatever you think we need to
We're
do.
gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for coming on, for sharing your testimony, your story, your journey. You've just done fabulously, and I can't wait to see what the next 45 days brings.
Me too.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks again, Kelly.
Yes. Thank you.